Yeah, hi, Isa. To everyone who is joining this interview, Isa is the digital marketing manager at AAVE, and AAVE is one of the leading DeFi projects in the crypto space. And with more than 4 billion total value logged, AAVE is one of the fastest growing DeFi protocols in the world. So, welcome, Isa, to this interview.
Thanks, Sahil. Really nice to be here.
Yeah, same here. And starting off with your our interview, I want you to understand, like Aave is a community-driven project, right? And you guys have more than 4 billion total value asset log, right? And in a very short period of time, mainnet comes in, I believe in 2019, and in a very short time period, you guys have gained so much traction. So I want you to understand from your side, like what are the main factors that you believe contributed to such enormous growth at Aave.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Sahil, for having me here. Really, really happy to be here.
Same here.
And yeah, I think you actually kind of nailed it on the head with that question by saying Aave is a community-driven project, because the community has actually been a key driver in all of the traction and growth that the project has seen. Yeah, as you said, the Aave protocol launched just a little over 1 year ago, back in January 2020. And since launch, it has been one of the fastest growing DeFi protocols, which is awesome. And we're very, very lucky to have such an engaged community that really cares about the protocol and making decisions. We actually handed over the admin keys to the protocol, basically to the community, in a big step to become more decentralized. So now the AAVE token holders can not only vote on protocol updates, but they can also create proposals. So a lot of the recent development and additions to the protocol have been created and driven by the community. So it has been super exciting to see how active the community is in this process and shaping the protocol. And another factor that's very important to mention is that AAVE has a very innovative developer community. I think one reason that the DeFi space in general is able to progress and innovate so rapidly is that everything's open source, just by nature. So this means that all the DeFi money Legos, as we like to call them, can be put
Yeah,
together and assembled in different ways to create new financial tools and services, kind of DeFi building blocks. So at AAVE, yeah, we always like participate in many hackathons. We're always encouraging devs to build on the AAVE protocol. And we also have an ecosystem grants program, and we've seen some really exciting projects come out of that, like AAVE Gochi, and many others. So I think that's the developer community has been a key factor.
yeah. So when I was, using your platform, the one thing that, took my attention was the UI UX of the platform, right? The kind of detailing and the kind of attention that you guys are, putting at the experience of the users, right? The one of the biggest problems that I face when I am interacting with DeFi protocols is the lack of user experience, right? Only a very experienced trader can, interact with the DeFi protocols, but that is not the case with the Aave. So I wanted to understand your company policy, like what goes behind the UI UX and all this design stuff on in the Aave project.
Yeah, definitely. So our design team are awesome, and they're always looking for community feedback. So actually, this has been another way in which the community's driven a lot of the UI UX improvements, because we hear, someone will tweet something at us or post something in our Discord saying, like, this could be better or improved somehow, and we take a lot of these suggestions really seriously, and that's kind of how the UX UI has improved so much. I think in general, the DeFi space has come a long way since like 2017
Yeah.
in terms of UI UX. And
Mm.
my dad actually, who's like in his 50s, uses Aave, he uses DeFi protocols, but he doesn't actually ever have to go on the Aave site and interact with the dApp there. He just has his Argent wallet where you can deposit through Aave directly through
Yeah.
that wallet. And it's super easy. I think that's another thing that makes it so easy is Aave is not exactly front end or back end. We're kind of like this middle end where we're integrated into a lot of products. So you don't even really need to know that like you're going to Aave, but you can still
Yeah.
take advantage of depositing on Aave and earning interest, but through whatever wallet, a wallet of your choice, if they've integrated
Mm.
Aave. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Exactly. Going forward to the next question, like a rising DeFi index, the kind of assets that are logged into DeFi and the rising valuations of the, DeFi tokens. Like, for example, with Aave token as well. Right now, Aave is in the top 20 tokens, right? So people are worried about like the valuations, and some people are also referring this rise in the DeFi space as the next ICO bubble. So I wanted to know your thoughts, at the current valuations, like the current rally that is happening into the DeFi tokens. It's almost a year now. So I wanted to know your thoughts, as an industry leader into this space.
Yeah. I think after 2017, it's no wonder that people have their concerns after that kind of blew up. But I do think that the space has matured a lot since then. And I mean, of course, it's really important to do your due diligence when looking to like invest in a project or buy a token. I think in a bull market, like everyone's focusing on the coins and whether they'll blow up or crash. But I think it's really good to look, at long-term project's viability, look how strong the project is, look at what they're doing, does it have a use case? What's the purpose of the token? And I think now it's less about just kind of like chasing these market highs and lows, but definitely more about like building a project and building something sustainable. So I think we've come a
Yeah.
long way since 2017.
Yes. Now, like the markets are more mature, right? And investors are, holding for longer period, because as more and more people are coming, institutional interest is also coming. So I believe the market is now settling down.
Definitely, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So, taking next question, as you are hearing a lot of words banning crypto in India, right, in our country, and recently Nigeria, banned crypto, right? So I wanted to understand when there is an environment like a lot of governments are looking to regulate crypto. At the same time, there are some governments that are looking to ban crypto. That DeFi application like Uniswap, Aave doesn't require that sort of KYC regulations. So I wanted to understand, in a regulatory, where people are wanted to ban crypto, how you see the role of DeFi application that they will play, the platforms and all the protocols in facilitating the crypto experience in countries where the crypto is banned. I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's the regulatory gray area is like very difficult to foresee, and I guess it's a tricky question. Personally, I'm an advocate for like self-regulation in DeFi because at AAVE we really try to set and uphold these strict security standards when it comes to auditing and like assessing risks properly. I think a big issue is when people don't take security very seriously, and then bad things happen, and regulators will feel the need to step in. So far, there hasn't really been too much regulation in the DeFi space per se, but I mean, that definitely could change if regulators feel the need to. And I think part of it, it'll definitely hamper the innovation a bit. And
Yeah.
yeah, I hope regulators like look at these decisions very carefully and assess, because I think there's a lot more value in DeFi than,
Yes.
just banning crypto.
Yeah, because DeFi provides a level playing field to everyone, right? In a centralized system, there are chances of corruption, right, and preferential treatment. But DeFi ensures that there will be no preferential treatment, there will be no corruption, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that is
I
one of
think
the
it's
main.
also Mhm. Oh no, I
Yeah,
think it's also it gives everyone in the world access to like global liquidity.
yeah.
It's borderless, so like you can be lending and borrowing with people from all over the world, and that's really really useful, and it really puts everyone on an equal playing field.
Yeah. So taking point from your answer, lending and borrowing. So I wanted to know, currently in DeFi protocols, there are over collateralized loans, right? People need to deposit more crypto to take less loans, right? But into the real life, into the centralized finance, this is not how it works. People generally take under collateralized loans, right? So taking this point into consideration, I wanted to understand in the adoption curve, how what you see at what stage we are when we are talking about lending and staking crypto into the DeFi protocols.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, I guess because loans are over collateralized usually in DeFi, it means that everything's permissionless. So like lenders and borrowers can be strangers, and there's no need for like borrowers to prove that, go through a credit check or prove that they should be able to have that loan. They just need the collateral to say that they are. However, of course, that makes it hard for people who might not have that existing capital to put up as collateral. And if you don't have that, then you can't borrow. But now there are ways in DeFi, such as at AAVE, we actually released something called credit delegation, where a depositor can delegate a credit line to a borrower who can then borrow without needing to put up any collateral. So that makes it easier for people to kind of have access to that liquidity to borrow, but without needing any capital of their own. However, you do need like more of a legal agreement to make sure, to lay out all the terms and conditions if the borrower can't pay back the loan.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool, and that's definitely something that will become bigger in DeFi, is uncollateralized lending too.
Yeah.
But in terms of, in terms of the adoption curve, I think, as part of my job in marketing is to target many different audiences. So we have like the DeFi Dagents and like DeFi natives and developers who are really savvy and use these things every day. And then there are
Yeah.
people who hold crypto but are maybe like new to DeFi. And then there's like the more mainstream audience who maybe has just gotten into crypto or doesn't really have crypto at all.
Yeah.
So I think last year when we launched AAVE Protocol, it was really about getting developers to build on AAVE and more about attracting these DeFi natives. Now I
Yeah.
think we're kind of more in a phase on the brink of mainstream adoption, as DeFi lending and borrowing particularly has gotten a lot of traction, and people who have crypto are really taking notice and starting to use these things.
Yeah.
I think mainstream people also have been hearing a lot about like Bitcoin and Ethereum and starting to get into crypto. So now it's like they
Yeah.
have these coins, but they don't really know what they can do with them. So I think that's
Yeah.
where DeFi lending and borrowing comes in, especially lending. It's a great way to earn a passive income and really like make the most of this crypto that you have.
Yeah.
And also institutions and banks are starting to take notice as well, especially with companies like Tesla adding Bitcoin to their corporate treasury. DeFi lending then becomes really attractive as an alternative to like zero or negative interest rates that you get in like a traditional savings account. So I think
Yeah.
custodians and fintechs have like started to build these solutions to help institutions and banks onboard to DeFi as well. So
Yeah.
mainstream adoption is coming.
Yes, yes. Because the number of users in the crypto space is also increasing, and as you said, like people are like looking at lending their crypto and earning interest. I can tell you from our experience at Finstreet, like we have a growing community, and a lot of people generally ask this question, like how we can gain interest. Because the problem with the Indian community is that they are new to these things, so they don't have that kind of exposure to the protocols. So that's why we are also building some education materials to help these guys also getting into, because they have the crypto. At the same time, they can also get more interest over that. So one part is capital appreciation and second part is interest. So both the things can combine and deliver a great value for the investor, whoever is coming into the crypto space.
Definitely. I think that
Yeah.
educational aspect is really important because a lot of people, are very new to the space.
Yeah. So, like as you mentioned in the answer, that credit delegation, that you have added a new feature. I want you to understand, like in December last year, you guys launched version 2, right? And you guys are quite a fast track into adding new features. I want you to understand what are the new additional features that you guys will be adding to the protocol in the very next future, and what are the other features that you guys are will be building in a medium to long term.
Yeah, definitely. So this is actually kind of up to the community. We have a governance forum where people can post ideas and proposals to like add a different assets or add new features, add new markets to the protocol, and then they can collect feedback on it. So you've seen a lot of proposals. Some of the exciting ones have been to like add real world assets as collateral in AAVE, which would be very interesting. But basically, if a proposal on the forum has enough traction, it becomes an AAVE improvement proposal, or AIP for short. And this is a binding on-chain proposal that automatically executes after the governance vote. So if it's approved, it just automatically goes on-chain. And AAVE holders can vote on these proposals. And they also have the power to create them, which is really cool. So the governance forum is kind of, if you go to the governance forum, you can see all the proposals and kind of what people are proposing and thinking about. But in general, I think stuff that we're working on, I guess we've been looking at different like L2 solutions and everything. So that's something that will be important in DeFi this year.
Yeah, because the gas fees are quite increasing, and a lot of protocols are shifting towards layer 2 solutions. So
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing, a lot of projects are shifting. So, like as you mentioned that, a lot of people are interested into gaining, interest from the crypto. Like in India also, like I mentioned in the last question, that they are interested, but they don't know, they don't know how to interact with the protocol, right? Because if you see, this is a decentralized protocol, right? There will be no, contact us in, people can wear, there will be, bot, answering your question, like in a centralized exchange, right? So I wanted to understand from your perspective, from the Aave perspective, what you guys are doing, to help these newbies, come into the DeFi space and take loans, lend crypto, earn interest through Aave protocol. So what are the, key, initiatives or projects, or, through initiatives like the grants that you mentioned in the starting? What are all activities you guys are, planning to do to help these newbies enter into the market and take full, usage of these protocols?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think DeFi education is super important, and that's a big thing that we're always pushing. It just makes it easier for people to onboard. I think a lot of people when they come to crypto are maybe a bit skeptical or a bit scared, especially because they hear about hacks and risks and stuff. So it's important to educate people and kind of teach them what to avoid and also like what to look for when choosing projects to use. So we do this by making videos, educational content, and like partnering with other people in the space, going to events to help with DeFi education efforts. We've also sponsored many content creators that create informative and educational content. And we think these creators are very invaluable to the space and make it easier for people to find the resources that they need. So we're really happy to sponsor Finstreet, for example, to engage more with an Indian audience. And
Yeah.
we've seen, yeah, so I think that's very important. And I think that's something we're definitely pushing. And then
So
aside from educational content, just making the UX UI as seamless as possible.
yeah. So like when we, launched the campaign for Aave, tutorial videos, there were a lot of questions, getting answered, and a lot of, our community members are getting engaged. And, because this is, it's a very attractive proposition for everyone, right? Because you have the crypto and it's a very high rewarding asset class, right? Crypto is giving, right, 50, 60%, returns, right? And at the same time, you can also earn interest, so it's in a dual benefit, and I believe Aave is that kind of protocol that is sort of a very huge gift for the Indian crypto space as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we've seen like so many amazing projects and developers from India, and I think like DeFi in India has huge potential. It's kind of a user base that we're just starting to kind of, I guess, be introduced to, but it's definitely something we'd love to be more involved in India.
Yeah. So, recently, there was a news that Aave got a license, EMI license from FCA, right? And, I was looking into the Twitter of Stanny, like the CEO of Aave. So he recently posted a zip of, credit card. So I wanted to understand, what is going on, and are you guys coming on to the payment services, and how will be the regulation side of that? And I wanted to understand from your side, like, what is the thing?
Ah, yes. So, yes, Danny posted the card. Unfortunately, can't really say much more on that for now. um, so can't really say anything about what's going on there. But in terms of the EMI license, we received that last July. And that's really exciting because that basically means that we can like set up IBAN accounts, the electronic money accounts, and also facilitate currency conversions. So that's very cool, and that'll make it much easier for people to like onboard to DeFi and basically purchase crypto directly with like a credit card, and then onboard. But that service will be trialing in the UK first, and then of course, like eventually the goal is to roll it out to all Aave users.
Yeah. So, as you said, it's very convenient for your father to use Aave through Urgent Wallet, right? So, I want you to understand, what is the, role of expanding the reach of Aave protocol, like through these sort of, applications like Urgent Wallet you mentioned, like other protocols, I believe Ethereum Push Net Notification Services (EPNS) recently received a grant from Aave, right? Like it's an Indian project, right? and Parcel also received a grant from AAVE. So I wanted to understand, like, like all these grantees, Urgent Wallet, how these guys are, like contributing in pushing the, AAVE reach, AAVE audience in the journal space.
Yeah, definitely. So like Argent is not an AAVE Grants recipient. Basically, we have our grants program where people who are, if they're building something that contributes to the AAVE ecosystem, you can apply for a grant. So there's been some cool projects like AAVE Gochi coming out of that, as well as, yeah, Ethereum push notifications that you said also as a grants recipient. But then we have integrations. So that's where like Argent and many different wallets come in, like IM token, for example, is one popular one. And these are basically like wallets or different other like crypto products that integrate the AAVE protocol in the background so that their users can deposit and borrow or do, I guess it can be different functionalities depending on the integration. But Argent, for example, integrated AAVE so that Argent users can just they have like an earn feature in the wallet. So you can deposit to AAVE and then start earning interest on your crypto all from one place in your wallet. So you never have to like send crypto to the AAVE dApp and do it from there. It's all just native, like right from your phone. So that's really important to us because I think a lot of people have like wallets that they like to use or different products that they're already using and very comfortable with. And it's not about making everyone come and use the AAVE dApp on our website, but it's more about this being everywhere and giving people access to the protocol.
Exactly. Like as you mentioned, AAVE Gochi, right? AAVE Gochi launch was stalled due to the rising gas fees, right, into the Ethereum main network, right? And it's so quite disheartening to see that, for a single transaction, we need to shell around $250. Like recently, I did a transaction on the main net. I need to shell out $250, and it's quite disheartening. And I believe it will, stall the growth of the DeFi for the retail investors, right? Nobody will be able to pay like $250. And AAVE Gochi like use the Polygon, like previously called as Matic, it's an Indian project, as a layer two solutions for the scaling. I wanted to understand, is AAVE also like exploring the option of taking the entire protocol on a layer two solutions, or are you using other like roll ups or other any options?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think the high gas fees have been a huge deterrent, especially for people who just want to deposit a little bit. It doesn't make sense to deposit and have to pay all that gas fee because you won't make that money back in interest for a really long time. So we're definitely looking at exploring like many different L2 solutions right now. We're currently only on Ethereum, so we haven't announced anything. But yes, we're looking at it.
Yeah. So that comes to the conclusion of our interview, right? And thank you so much, Aiza, like, for answering all the questions. And I truly believe that, the Indian audience will have more understanding about AAVE, because in here in India, people are very much interested about AAVE. Recently, CoinGecko, like, launched a report, and AAVE is the fifth most searched coin on that. So overall, the project is kind of Indian audience is quite interested into the project, and I believe this interview have contributed a lot more knowledge about the project, how you guys are building things, and and how the new features will be coming onto the platform.
Awesome. Well, good. I'm very glad. We're really, really excited to get to know the Indian community more. And thank you so much, Sahil.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aiza.